One of the easiest things to say, but the hardest thing to do is to recognize your flaws and then work on them. And this past week has taught me so much about myself. It's taught me so much about how I can improve and become a better person, but I'm not gonna cap. It is ridiculously hard. One of the biggest things that you can do for yourself is change for the better, because life is always changing around you. And if you don't make that concerted effort to be able to evolve yourself, then you'll fall behind. That's something that I wanted to tell you for Update Monday. What's going on with y'all, big dog? And it is Update Monday. It has been 2 years, 3 months, and 1 week of kicking rheumatoid arthritis' ass, boy. One thing I want to iterate about what I said earlier is that if you don't change, you won't get better. Just like how Yu-Gi-Oh has gotten so much better because it has changed, but don't worry. Your big dog gonna keep you updated. So many people still stuck in the past talking about no. Labyrinth, Eradicator Labyrinth. Yeah, big dog, that's not it either. Branded. It is a top deck in the game. Nobody can stop Brandon. We're not even going to talk about how Ash Blossom exists, right? In today's video, I'll actually be talking to you about some strategies that are becoming really, really strong. These Yu-Gi-Oh decks are changing the meta. Genuinely, you need to watch out for these. My guys, we cook it in here. We really are. And in case you guys want a personal deck list, I'm still going to be putting them on Patreon as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. This video was edited by my top dog, Hoodley. I appreciate you, big dog. Without further ado, let's jump on in and talk about some of those decks that are changing the game. Big dog, I think it's pretty obvious that we should start off this video by talking about the elephant in the room. Rika's Sun Avalon is one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I kind of told you so. My guy, you remember? Remember when I told you? Callie told you? Yep, I told you. That's me. I told you. With Rika winning another major Yu-Gi-Oh event, I think it's going to be really hard to deny it from its top status, and it has a really good reason. Rika is actually a lot more similar to some of the most powerful decks that have ever existed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Take, for example, Mathmech being able to use all of the Cyberse cards and Dragon Link having full advantage of dragons, while Rika takes full advantage of all the best plant cards in the game. Rika's primary form of disruption is to be able to tribute your opponent's monsters using Rika Cone, but also being able to give you advantage through cards like Rika Glamour and protection from disruption by Rika Princess. You actually are able to insulate some of your other plant plays like the Sun Avalon combo, which makes some really deadly boards. Basically, my guy, any type of plant card that you're going to be playing from your extra deck is fully protected and is ready to get the stretching of your opponent's life points. But also, just like dragons and Mathmech, the Rika plant strategy can also use some really awesome cards like Predaplant, Spider, Orchid to be able to destroy powerful spell and trap cards, and Cactus Bouncer when you want to be a dick. Look, my guy, every single Yu-Gi-Oh strategy has that card that you may want to rage over. For people that have been following my content, it's really no surprise that Rika is considered one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, just like how we've been talking about how dragons are one of the best decks ever to touch the planet. Dragons are legitimately one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! I even made a crazy video showing you how powerful the ceiling of the deck can be. And let's be real, the reason why this deck is so good, the Bestial monsters. Bestials are actually incredible right now, punishing players that play light and dark decks, but what Dragons does best is that even if you aren't going against a light and dark based Yu-Gi-Oh deck, you can banish your important light and dark cards and shuffle them back into your deck with cards like Chaos Space and Branded Regained. But it really doesn't stop there. Cards like Chaos Emperor Dragon of Armageddon and Chaos Dragon Levianeer are free Yu-Gi-Oh monsters that not only can be shuffled back into the deck, but also have some devastating effects. Like, seriously, ban Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Let's be honest. If you can't negate Levianeer, you lose it. The card literally says shuffle and draw up to 2 cards, destroy up to 3 cards on the field, or special summon, or rip a card out of your opponent's hand. It has too much utility. And the utility of the Chaos cards actually don't stop there. We actually seen at the World Championship someone pilot a Thunder Dragon deck using the exact same concepts. The only difference is that banishing cards like Thunder Dragon Roar and Thunder Dragon Dark net you serious results. Free special summons, free searches, free monsters, let's go! And while the Dragon strategy is monotone with its typing, the Thunder Dragon strategy really does not care. It can play dragon cards like Saryuja Skull Dread to be able to mold this hand and then make a Heretic Seal, but it also is able to summon powerful monsters, whether you're playing the fusion monsters like Thunder Dragon Titan to be able to break your opponent's board, but the so powerful IP Masquerena. This card? It should be banned too. To be honest, ban anything I'm not playing. I don't think it'll be too long before players start to realize that the Bestial in the Chaos cards aren't just to Dragon decks. It can not only be Thunder Dragon, but also be to a plethora of other decks. Once players start to unlock that, the meta will definitely change in the Chaos deck's favor. Plus, it was also a deck that had the second most representation throughout the top cut. The third most? It should have gotten more. My guy. Runic. I never thought I'd be rooting for it, but when it's Furhire, I changed my tune. The Zootopia pirate deck is also the only animal pirate deck that I agree with currently. Right now, Furhire Rex is my spirit animal. This deck takes the entire game over by waves because not only does the Runic engine allow you to be able to address certain cards and draw cards, the Sprite engine is perfect to be able to get into your Furhire monsters, which allow you to disrupt on your opponent's turn, but more importantly, draw cards. My guy, who doesn't like drawing cards? We don't know what Pot of Greed does, but I bet you I know exactly what those Runic and Furhire cards do that draw cards. This deck is so deadly at just being able to out-advantage the opponent by getting as many resources as possible. You don't even need your battle phase. That and Donner is questionably a good Yu-Gi-Oh card in more than one way. My guys, I'm not saying I'm down bad right now, but hey, she does look better than my ex. Donner being able to combine all of the engines together, as long as you can summon monsters to your side of the field, it gives you a fluidity of being able to continuously summon Furhire monsters and trigger their effects, whether it's search, destructions, or draws, while also being a Link 2 monster that can work really well with Sprite cards, and then still being a monster that can get out of the extra monster zone so you can summon those Runic cards. Those would easily be the top 3 Yu-Gi-Oh decks that are changing the game right now. But of course, your boy always got some spicy decks that you should be looking out for. These particular strategies I want to talk to you guys about in length on another video, but I think that these decks could really change the Yu-Gi-Oh card game and are secretly making some waves right now. Take, for example, the Punk Gold Pride strategy. My guy, TCG exclusives don't get better than this. I think one of the biggest problems with Punk Gold Pride is since Gold Pride is a TCG exclusive, we don't get to see what happens in the OCG and how it would develop. But this deck is actually insane right now. The reason being is that it has some access to some of the most powerful cards in the entire game, like number 90 in case your opponent want to hand interrupt your real combo. You make this before you normal summon sometimes. Divine Arsenal AA Zeus in case you want to crack boards. And I don't want the game to be that long, so I'll just pay 7,999 life points and summon Psychic Kin Punisher. GG. Gold Pride players are Merrick from the anime. I am convinced. I always thought that it was cool to use your life points as a resource because nobody really cared about life points anyways, and Gold Pride Pug does an amazing job at it. The Punk cards allow you to set up, and then the Gold Pride cards allow you to knock your opponent down, giving you some really unique interactions. Being able to fusion summon and synchro summon on your opponent's turn never felt so good, especially when you're using cards like Pinwheeler to be able to snatch your opponent's monster. My guy, are you guys noticing something about snatching your opponent's monsters? They're kind of good. But I think one of the most underrated things is that your Gold Pride monsters get shuffled back into your extra deck for later use, and then you get a monster resembling what the Gold Pride extra deck monster is back to your side of the field, and also a potential draw one card. I genuinely think that those decks are changing the Yu-Gi-Oh card meta, as not only are they powerful, they're actually starting to show some results at the highest level of events. But of course, big dog, if you got something to say, if you think that there are some other strategies that will change the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, let me know down below in the comment section. But until then, I hope you can check out these other videos, as I'll catch you on the next one.